In February 2013, the White House Office of Science and Technology Policy issued the Increasing Access to the Results of Federally Funded Government Research Memorandum. Effective data management has the potential to increase the pace of scientific discovery and promote more efficient and effective use of government funding and resources. NASA's Research Data and Publication Access Policy will increase the accessibility of unclassified digital data produced by NASA-funded researchers and recipients of NASA grants, cooperative agreements, and contracts. The definition of research data per OMB Circular A110 is the recorded factual material commonly accepted in the scientific community as necessary to validate research findings, but not any of the following: preliminary analyses, drafts of scientific papers, plans for future research, peer reviews, or communications with colleagues. Research data do not include physical objects like laboratory samples, trade secrets, commercial information, materials that need to be held confidential by a researcher until published or protected by law, personal, medical, and similar information, the disclosure of which would be considered an unwarranted invasion of personal privacy. This includes information that could be used to identify a particular person in a research study. To facilitate access to all federally funded data, NASA's policy is to require all investigators submitting a research or project proposal to include a Data Management Plan, DMP, for managing and providing access to final research data. See http://www.nasa.gov/open/science access for examples and more detailed questions. NASA will continue to recognize proprietary interests, business confidential information, intellectual property rights, and other relevant rights of research data. We also recognize the need to protect confidentiality and personal privacy, so no change will be made to existing policies that would reduce current protections. NASA research program managers will provide sample DMP templates and examples, answer questions, and share their expectations. They will also be responsible for evaluation of the proposal DMPs during the proposal review process and will ensure that researchers comply with implementation guidelines.
But I'm really not going to generate any data, so why do I have to do this?
In some cases, like instrument and technology development programs, NASA won't request a data management plan at all because we know that some proposers to those programs may not be generating any data. If this applies to you, you may simply state that you will not be generating any data or none that can be released, and briefly explain why. However, chances are that you are going to publish a paper with a figure or a table, and so you will have to release at least a little bit of data. Okay, yes, I will generate a little bit of data. What data must I supply? At a minimum, you'll be required to release the data needed to reproduce figures, tables, and other representations in your publications, and we expect this at the time of publication. Including the data in supplementary materials or the like is one really easy way to do this, and it has the advantage that the data and the figures are linked together in perpetuity without any ongoing effort on your part.
What's included in these DMPs?
The DMP should outline the what, where, when, and who for the data that will be created by the award in adequate detail. What data types, volumes, formats, and, where relevant, standards. Where you intend to make these data available, when you plan to make these data available, and who will do this archiving, and what their experience is with this kind of data, archive, etc. I'm not ready to release my data. It took years to collect. That was the hard part, and I haven't had time to fully analyze it. If I release it now, I'll get scooped. Let's say that your paper is based on a big data set that you generated, and this is just the first of a series of articles. In that case, we certainly won't require you to release the entire data set along with the first publication. On the other hand, you do have to release the data that was represented in that paper, and we expect you to release the full data set within 1 year of the end of the award. That gives you a few years to publish your papers, but it also means that you can't take the data to the grave with you.
Can I propose archiving my data anywhere? For example, may I just post it on my webpage?
You need to release the minimum required data from the paper at the time of publication with the publication if you can. If you are generating a larger data set, you need to make that available within 1 year of the end of the award and put that in a NASA-approved archive. Posting to your own webpage, even if it is currently hosted by your institution, does not satisfy the requirement for long-term archiving. Individual program announcements may specify preferred archives and/or may require more than the minimum outlined here for all proposers, or just those that generate certain kinds of data. Please read the individual program elements carefully.
I'm still not totally sure what I need to archive. Where can I get answers to my questions?
Refer to the specific solicitation or our website for contact info, example DMPs, and detailed guidance. NASA recommends that you use best judgment and your community standards in deciding what should be archived to allow your peers to really understand what you have done. In some cases, the data is meaningless without some metadata, so include that too as appropriate. When in doubt, consult with your NASA program manager.